Hello everybody. Day 2 of me reviewing indie author books. Today I'm going to do my review on The Price of Jade by Danielle Grace. So Danielle Grace, let me see, I'll read her bio so I won't mess it up. Danielle Grace was born in Washington, D.C. In addition to being a novelist, Grace is also a poet and entrepreneur. Grace holds a Bachelor's of Arts degree in English and resides in the state of Maryland. As the child of a Capitol Hill police officer and a speech pathologist in the public school systems of Washington, D.C. and Prince George's County, Washington. Washington? I don't have to hire her as a speech, but I don't have to hire her. I messed up that fast. Okay, let me do it again. As the child of a Capitol Hill police officer and a speech pathologist in the public school systems of Washington, D.C. and Prince George's County, Maryland, there you go. She was raised along with 2 older brothers to be proud of her African American heritage and to champion fairness in the treatment of all people. So already this person sounds awesome. And a little tidbit, this is my cousin, but all reviews are non-biased. So let's just get into it. So this book has been out. It was published a couple of years ago. Let me click on here and see. Try to get the date right. 2017. So this review will have maybe a tad bit spoilers, just a little bit. I won't give too much, just because even though the book has been out for a couple of years now, I never want to take away the reading experience from other readers. So this will just be my thoughts of the book and a little review on a couple of pages and a couple of characters, and I'll try to make sure if I do a spoiler, I'll make an alert so you can cover your ears for a second. The bio, I always want to start with the back blurb of the book, so my opinions will be you all can compare my opinions to something. Alright, so the back blurb of the novel says Jade Courtland just wants to live her life, but that is not such an easy task for one who has been specially engineered to be extraordinary. Plucked from a seemingly normal existence, facing a revelation of genetic manipulation and determined not to live her life on the run, Jade must find a way to thrive on her own terms and keep her pursuers at bay. In an effort to cope with the emergence of strange abilities and avoid capture by obsessed general, this fierce beauty will use every advantage she can gain to keep her freedom and survive. So immediately this book grabbed my attention. I enjoy adventure stories, adventure movies, books. I love action. So immediately when I read this blurb, I knew that there was going to be some conflict, some action, some adventure stories, surviving, and that journey. And I definitely wanted to know immediately who the heck was pursuing her. Are these, are they regular stalkers? Are they some type of secret organization? The army, Men in Black, who is it? I don't know, but I wanted to find out, and you all are definitely going to find out too after the very first prologue. The first chapter, you're going to want to find out as well what the heck is going on. So that's the blurb. My opinion, the book is going in a little more detail. The book is about Jade, the main character, who is African American, and she lives in Washington, D.C. From my understanding, she was born and raised in Washington, D.C. And as a Washingtonian myself, I was really excited to have another author write another book that was set in DC. You don't see that very often. One of my favorite authors, James Patterson, he does that. And also Zane, which might be telling my age a little bit. I don't know how many people still remember Zane, but she also writes a lot of books and stories set in Washington, D.C. And even though I'm an author myself and I'm born and raised in D.C., I have yet to write a book set in D.C. So these authors, including Danielle Grace, is motivating me to get myself together and write me a book set in D.C. Hopefully I'll be able to do it justice, just like those three authors. So Jade, she is, when we first are introduced to her, she is actually on the run. So the story jumps right into the action, jumps right into the story. You don't have to wait a long time before things start kicking off. So she's on the run, and we don't exactly know who it is, what's going on, until about a few paragraphs, a few pages. We know immediately the group that's chasing her are soldiers. So immediately I was like, okay, well, soldiers, well, who are they? What, Army, Marines? Why would they be chasing her? Isn't this the responsibility of, like maybe the police or FBI? Why are soldiers chasing her? And then we get to, she's still on the run, and don't want to give too much away, so I won't say what areas and such and who she encounters. But while on the run, she has to figure out how she's going to keep hidden, how she's going to avoid these soldiers who are part of pretty much in my opinion, a shady operation, a side government agency. So if some people remember the TV show Nakia, I will equate the soldiers that are following Jade to that the division in Nakia. So they are they're part of the government, but they are separate, where they have some leeway to do some dark stuff, to go into some gray areas. And they start doing experimentations. They're doing all this weird stuff where we learn later on that, let me see how later on, I don't want to, no, it's not a giveaway, it's immediately. So we learned that Jade was part of an experiment. I'm not going to give the details because that's a little later in the book, but she is almost, you could just say, a mutant. She's human, so she's not a mutant how some sci-fi books might describe, but she has advanced abilities. Let me put my little description. It was pretty weird and cool at the same time. So I'm going to read this quote that kind of reminded me. I was like, she has what? It made me think of Wolverine. So let me read it and you all can make your own decision. So while on the run, we see that she is hungry, so of course she can't go to the store and go buy something. So on the run, she ends up doing a little literally hands-on fishing with her bare hands. She grabs this fish because she has these superhuman reflexes and strength. So she grabs the fish and she flopped the fish down on the flat surface of a large rock and curiously watched it struggle for a moment before ending its misery. A bit of a Gollum moment, kind of. Okay. So Jay knew that she could not risk building a fire, so the raw fish would have to be enough. I can't get that moment from Lord of the Rings when Gollum is just ripping into. Okay, but it's fine. People, we eat sushi. Maybe she put some like little spices of grass and made it look nice, or I don't know. She probably threw up later. I don't know. But the way she set up the fish, a set of razor sharp claws slid from the bed of her fingernails, and Jade pressed back against the bark of a tree to keep a scream from erupting from her. Oh God, it hurts. Why is this happening to me? Jade looked at the ground and gasped. Her fingernails, the ones she kept neatly filed and short, were on the ground. Okay. In their place, a new set of thick claw-like nails had sprung up. They were jagged and sharp. She ran and plunged her hands back into the cold water to ease the stinging pain. Looking down, she realized she left blood behind. She made sure to dig up the area where she bled and put the dirt and nails she shed into the water. Good girl. Keep her covered. Don't want the dogs and the hounds and soldiers to find you. Her hands burnt worse than her ears had when she learned that she could hear things that people weren't supposed to be able to detect without enhanced technology. So you see her new abilities are showing up out of her control. So nails, when I was mentioning pretty much like a mutant, maybe like Wolverine, when his claws just come out, I can imagine that has to be painful. So Jane labored with detached wonder as she handled the fish. Her fingers were tender at first, but seemed to numb to the soreness after working carefully for a bit. She deboned the creatures clumsily with her fingernails, partly because it was like looking through the eyes of a stranger in a dream. But they got the job done effectively. So she pretty much, those claws came out, and she said she was hungry. So, raw fish or not, she a survivor. Cause I don't know. I don't want to say that I'm gonna let myself die, but if it comes to, I don't know, we got the pandemic, we got potential war with mess going on with the Taliban. If something ever come up and over here where I gotta survive in the woods somewhere, I don't got the grocery store, I don't got that nice man over at the Giant on Brentwood to cut the head of my fish to make sure it don't look at me so I can cook it and eat it, I might starve. I don't need me somebody to tag along with me on the journey so they can kill the food for me. And vegans and other vegetarian people don't get on me. I'm still gonna eat the fish. I just need somebody to cut the head off for me. I'm not doing it. Okay, more about Jade and about how weak of a stomach I have. Her description. Oh, Jade. Well, let's discuss first about how she got her name, and also who she is and more description of her. And I'm focusing to add on to how she looked and her details, just because as an African American woman myself, I'm excited every time I get a book where the main character is a person of color. So I want to talk about her even more until we continue on and we could talk about the story. But let's set the scene so while I keep talking about the story, you all can get a nice vision in your head. Get a good picture of who Jade is. So Jade, it says, let's see, a couple of pages. We get a description of her. And let me see. So this young woman did not appear to be a particularly threatening person In fact, one might even describe her as disarmingly stunning. Okay. I hope people say that about me. The woman's age fell somewhere between late teenage years and early adulthood. She was well muscled and sleek, standing 6 feet tall. I don't have the muscles yet. I'm working on it. She moved with the fluid ease of someone accustomed to their stature. Her strides were long and graceful. Her hair was the color of rich, dark chocolate and brushed just below her shoulders when she wore it down. She had well-chiseled facial features, enhanced by high cheekbones. Her skin was a perfect shade of brown with undertones falling between gold and copper. But her most striking feature was her eyes, which sparkled like 2 jewels and were a most unusual shade of green, only matched by the color of the precious stone jade. So her eyes is really the thing that distinguished her the most, and her father gave her the name of Jade because of it. And I just love the fact that she has these unique features, but she's described as stunningly beautiful, but she's goofy and playful, and she's strong, and she's getting in dirt, and she's kicking ass, and she's really humble. So when you think usually of someone describing a person or character saying, oh, they're just drop dead gorgeous, sometimes the personality isn't someone you might want to trust or be friends with. Sometimes they might be a little superficial, but this person, Jade, is really cool. She's really laid back. She's really kind to people, even though she has these abilities and she can just take what she wants. She is just so sweet and just gentle and awesome. Okay, so let me see. Let me go to my notes. I won't be stuttering the whole time. Let's see. Main character. We talked about that. Oh, favorite characters. Now, some people, if you read a book on that, definitely pick up the book. If you did not read the book, my favorite character is Jack between Uncle Jack. I'll just say Uncle Jack. He was the first one that popped in my head. So Uncle Jack is a trucker, and she on the run is looking, for home, shelter, temporary shelter, and also a ride. And she comes across a truck stop, and she sees Jack pull up, and at first I'm like, dude, you can't just get in a truck with a strange man. And I'm just thinking, well, me, I don't have the muscles, I don't have the superhuman strength. I'm not doing it. I'm going to keep walking. Hopefully I won't get kidnapped. But she's like, okay. She realizes it's a little suspicious, like unsure, but she goes ahead and she talks to him. She wants to get a ride. She hitchhikes, and he's just the sweetest man. He's funny. He loves Marvin Gaye, and I'm like, oh, okay. Let me turn on YouTube, put the Pandora station on, and let's play some Marvin Gaye. And he is just, oh, I don't know. I really loved his humor, and how he was just like a big old teddy bear. He was so sweet to her, and he was just really cool to everybody around him. So Uncle Jack definitely was my favorite character. And let me see who else. I loved her mom, Patricia. Her mom was really awesome as well. Anytime you have a parental role in a book and they get some scene time and they aren't portrayed in a negative way. A lot of times in books, the parental figure, the parent isn't even mentioned, or if they are mentioned, it's not always in a good way. So I really liked the confidence of Patricia, and that she was over here She was living her life, got herself a little boo, got herself a man, and she does her jogging, she exercises, and she just seems like she's just not probably the everyday. I don't want to be stereotypical, but she was, seemed like she was young, living her life, and even though she was, she's missing her daughter, she's sad, and she's not letting that hold her down. She's continuing to live her life, and she is, when we do, I don't know if that's a spoiler. Well, the book has been out for years. Hopefully the author don't mind some potential gray line spoilers. I don't know. She does find out her daughter is alive, and when that happens, she remains like cool and calm. She doesn't give away her daughter's that's status. What status? She doesn't give away where her daughter is, even though she doesn't really know herself. But she is dependable, and she's not freaking out, and she's like, okay, all right. So let me find out who these fools are that lied to me and is messing with my daughter. But I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize my daughter's life at the same time. So I really enjoy Patricia, Jade's mother. And I also enjoy Abigail, Jade's best friend. I'll say she's her best friend. To me, when we are introduced to Abigail, it's chapters and chapters in the book. But Abigail to me is just, Abigail and Jade's friendship is sisterhood. They're not competing against each other. It's not a toxic friendship. And we all know in real life as well, a lot of times the girlfriend, it's so hard to have good, trustworthy girlfriends, because a lot of times it's just drama. Shout out to my two friends. Yes, two, because there is issues sometimes trying to make friends and the right friends, but I'm not gonna get into that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But Abigail and Jay's friendship is it's awesome. It's not toxic. They're just women looking out for each other, positivity. And Abigail is living in the same apartment building as Jay. They are almost co-parenting, sharing a cat, which is really funny. And I'm not a big cat person. I'm a dog person. But the cat, it had its own moments where I was like, okay, I kind of want a cat now. I don't know if I'll get one though, because they scare me sometimes. Don't laugh at me. I know cat. They are suspicious. Okay, sometimes they look like they're gonna kill you. All right, I have my reasons, but I like the cat in the book. That's away from me. And then let's see, Abigail. Oh, they both want to be models. So when Jay gets a opportunity for a job, she talks about her best friend Abigail. So she's not trying to leave her friend behind. She's not trying to hurry up and snatch opportunity. Even though I'm pretty sure Abigail would have been supportive of Jade if she got the job and, was moving on and advancing further along. They both were supportive, and that's me. That's something I would do, and something I would hope one of my friends would do, that if we're both going after the same dream and we're both doing the same work and, support each other, even if there's not enough room for me, at least mention my name. I'm going to mention your name. I'm going to recommend you. I'm going to talk about you, how awesome you are. And that's what they did. So I really enjoyed that bond they have. Oh no. See, look, let me see how little we going into spoiler territory. Trying not to go too far. But what else about the book I like, so I can wrap it up? I know you all think I'm doing long-winded reviews. Oh, and also about Jade. It's I don't know, well, that's probably a spoiler. She I was about to talk about her man, but can't talk about him because he's real later in the book. But I will talk about the potential other like main maybe side character, Brian. Those who read the book know what I'm talking about. I don't know if he was set up to be like the gray character. I didn't like him at all. Now, at one point, did I like him? I didn't like him in the beginning of the book or the end of the book. I didn't like him. So, Brian is pretty much the lead person that's like in charge of the soldiers that's following her. He's the one who was originally her superior. She used to be working with this organization before she realized she was pretty much being brainwashed and she ran away. But Brian, they used to be cool, while she didn't really understand what was going on. And so he go from her friend to now being the one who's trying to capture her. And it's just like, dude, okay, so y'all weren't really friends because when something comes up, when the hard times come, you over here trying to capture her. You being some shit. Something. Just in case some kids are watching. Something. But, so no, I didn't like his character at all. I know some might say, oh, maybe a little potential heartthrob. Maybe they were rooting for him and was like, ooh, maybe they gonna get together, him and Jade, or oh, we want him to get together with her, or I ain't gonna say what happens between them, but I didn't like his character. Whatever happens between them in the book, it was an entertaining read, and one of my favorite quotes that I couldn't, for some reason I couldn't find, and when I did, it's a longer quote, but it was one of my favorite quotes of the book where he's remembering when they were cool with each other, and he looked at her and she was like in this field somewhere and outside, and how she just looked so stunning, and the sun was on her and like the wind in her hair or something like that, and then a butterfly comes and it lands on her, and she and the butterfly are looking at each other, and it was like a cinematic scene. It was a moment. So that little moment, I was like, is this gonna be like a little romance? Are they gonna? I ain't gonna talk about it, but even though the writer did for that moment hook me in, I was like, oh. But as soon as it was over, I was like, snap out of it. We don't like him. He's an asshole. But I'll let you all, make your own decisions about his character and about their relationship and any of the other characters and relationships. So to end this off, I'm going to read my Goodreads review of it, because initially I usually do that in the beginning and I forgot to do that. So I rated it a 4-star novel. In my review, I put a fun read with a fun, strong character. She was really cool and fun. The writing was good with just a few things I didn't like or want more of. One example is I didn't understand why Jade didn't change her appearance while she was on the run. And like she doesn't change her hair color or do a drastic haircut or maybe even wear contacts. Like, hello, her most distinguished feature is the color of her eyes, green. No one else got those eyes, so maybe it'll be smart to get some contacts, girl. Put the contacts in, make your eyes brown, So then when Brian and the soldiers and other people are looking for you, they can't say, oh, this girl, she's black, gorgeous. That's many girls out there, many women. myself included. Many out there, but they can also say, oh, she got green eyes, color jade. Well, boom, that cuts out a whole lot of people. So it's easy for them to always keep up with her. So I definitely didn't understand why she didn't change her haircut to like blonde, red, jet black, change your eye color, just change up your look. If you want to run, that's the first thing I would think. That's like the first thing anybody would think of. I might not survive cutting my own fish, killing my own animals to eat, but I tell you what, I'll be changing my appearance. All this will be different looks. I would change up so fast. Day one, I'll be changing up. So I didn't understand that part. And I think it was just unrealistic. So I did, I will say, kind of points off to the author for me, because I felt that was just, it felt like such a giving, and it felt, it kept bothering me throughout the book. Like, oh my gosh, maybe this person wouldn't have found you, or maybe when you are talking to this person, maybe you should change. And then I didn't like that she didn't really like change her name. Also, hello, fake identity. Oh well, to be fair, she did get a nickname while she was with Uncle Jack, and the truckers, they named her Chocolate Doll. Okay. And then also her nickname was Coco in that trucker community. So I was like, is she a stripper now? What y'all saying? I know she gorgeous, but I don't know, I guess maybe men, or I don't know. But they were a little too focused on her looks for me. I'm like, okay, I'm Chocolate Doll, I'm Coco. I hope y'all don't be trying to get a taste, because me or Uncle Jack about to whoop some ass, okay? I don't know, that was a little, when I read it, I was like, oh, okay, so my skin color, okay, y'all little lusting after my skin color. I don't know if all of them were black on that, but I guess some of the white men and the white truckers were a little amazed by the amazing skin color. I don't know. It was weird. For me, it was a little weird. And now I'm laughing all over about it. I'm like, okay, please don't call me Coco. Well, I'm probably not talking enough for y'all to call me that anyway. That's fine. Okay, moving on. So side characters are always a favorite of mine when reading or watching a movie. And I mentioned Uncle Jack and Patrice grabbed me by the heartstrings, as I mentioned earlier. I wish Jade used her mutant abilities more. I wanted more of the sci-fi elements. The plot was strong, and the main character Jade was well written, giving the reader information about her past, her present life without info dumping. Very important. We learn about Jade throughout the book, giving us enough to care about her and not get bored with her. There was always fun info or her personality showing in a good pace. And then again, I mentioned I love the details about DC, and I love books that are set in the DMV. And then also I would really like for more technology to be used. Brian in the military, they didn't use much technology to find her, like looking into security cameras or anything similar. So that was another part where I felt details were lacking. Just because when you are thinking about a modern story, and you're thinking about the government, soldiers, or the army, whatever, we got cell phones, we got traffic cameras, etc. Business, maybe I watch the ID channel too much, and it's like, well, okay, maybe the 7-Eleven got a camera. Brian, why didn't you go over to the 7-Eleven like, hey, can I see the cameras? I'm looking for somebody. or when he is passing, maybe the street light, maybe some cameras caught her, you know. So I didn't get that part. I didn't really see much of technology being used. I didn't see him try to like slip on a GPS tracker device on any of the truckers' trucks, or, you know, I just would have liked to see some more details on how he's finding her and how him and the other soldiers are like tracing her and looking for her. And then the mutant abilities. Early on is where we get most of the details about her. You know, the strength, speed, you know, jumping up into a tree to hide quickly, the claws to gut the fish, and other things, you know, other abilities. The main scenes were early on. So I just wish that throughout the book, this badass, this person with all these abilities were using them. I know she was like trying to hide, but it's like in the beginning things were really smacking your face, which was awesome. But we didn't really see her really use her abilities much anymore. So that was a disappointment for me, because I'm thinking action, adventure, this is awesome, this is cool. You got a character that's not like X-Men. It's not a comic. It's a new story, new character. I really wanted to explore her abilities, and I didn't get to do that with this book. So that was one of the reasons I did not give it a 5-star, because I felt the genre and the plot of the book really set us up for more than what we was given. We was given an amazing story, but I wanted more. So definitely hope that the author is writing another book with the same character, and hopefully she lays on even more action and even more about Jade using her abilities. So that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. I want to talk about a little more stuff in the back of the book with her boo. Her I don't know if I could say his career. I won't say it because it's been since 2017. Y'all need to read the book, okay? Read the book. Her boyfriend, a senator. She got herself a senator. I ain't gonna talk details about it, just like I ain't talking details about Brian. Y'all gotta find out stuff for yourself, but I was rooting for the senator. That's all I'm gonna say. So hopefully we see more of Jade, and you all will definitely buy this book, The Price of Jade. Get it on Amazon, and what else? I believe she also has a website. So definitely get the book on Amazon.com, and make sure you leave a review. Always remember, as a fellow author, I always try to remind people, leave a review. Oh, and also Barnes & Nobles. You can get the book on Barnes & Nobles as well. Let's see, eBay, you can get the book. Okay, I'm not going to hold y'all up by looking at everywhere on this Google. So follow the author also. You can follow the author on Twitter at Danny Grace Wright. So DANIGRACEWRITES. Let's see, she got a Twitter. So follow her there, and I'm pretty sure she has another profile. It'll be listed on her website. If you are an indie author, or if you know of any great indie author books, send me the link, please. And like and comment this video, share it, and yeah, give me some links and some names so I can keep this going. I have a few more books up there I got to review. There's 4 more missing from that that very bare shelf. So please definitely give me some more books to read and add to my shelf. And I will also soon read some traditionally published books, but I want to give some of the attention initially to some indie authors because we all need it. Please buy our books. You can buy some of my books. You can find me on social media at author J Stone. Okay, one of the traditionally published books that I will get to very soon is this beauty. And a lot of people have read it and you probably got a whole lot of reviews from it, but if you want one from an indie reviewer, an indie author reviewer, one who isn't as professionally as these other reviewers and book talkers and booktubers and what else is there? See, I don't even know all of them. So, and as you see, we just gonna have a very raw discussion every time. And this also, I don't know, this is gonna be the first one, the second one also that I will read and review. So these two books that I just showed, I will read, do some reading vlogs or something, whatever the name is. Do my own versions of reading these books, giving you all some updates, and then I will do reviews at the end. Okay, so again, all right, let's get the traditionally published books out of here. Indie authors, support your indie authors, please, and buy this book and look at my other video and buy that book as well. So I'll see you all probably tomorrow. I'm going to try to also do a review per day. Might not happen, but I'm going to try to do that. Okay.